If I had no horse to ride, I'd be found walking up and down that mountain gap, listen to my talking. If I were a June apple hanging on a tree, every time that pretty gal passed, take a little bite of me. Well, I was born in Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania, and I was an Army kid. I grew up in a little mountain town near Pottsville, Pennsylvania, up in the coal mining town there. It was called New Philadelphia. And but then we lived a lot of places. I was fascinated by the harmonica and folk tunes. Actually, my friends were playing rock and roll. Yeah, the first contest I was in was held at the Seattle Center, and I was nervous, of course, like everybody else, but I thought I'd give it a try, and so I went there and played some tunes. Anyway, the judge came to me afterwards. I remember this very clearly. He said I would have won the contest, that I did win it, except that I played my tune of choice. I played a hoedown instead of a tune of choice, which should be a ragtime piece or some other thing, and so I lost. So then I got involved with Randy Sparks and the New Christy Minstrels. You remember the New Christy Minstrels? It's like, green, green, it's green, they say, on the far side of the hill. Green, green, I'm going away to where the grass is greener still. And then Barry McGuire made it famous. It was, actually, he wrote it. Well, I told my mama on the day I was born, don't you cry when you see I'm gone. You know there ain't no woman gonna settle me down. Gotta be traveling on everybody down. You know what's funny? If people don't know anything about fiddling and American fiddlers and fiddle music, there's one song that has stuck in the minds in recent years, and they always ask for it. It's called "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." And it's like they don't know anything else, or Orange Blossom Special. And so you got to know these, and you might, on these trains, you got to know that one. I like to make my train sound a little spooky, So here we are. I was mentioning about the trains, and we're on the old Overland Limited car here, the 2901 car at Railtown. I played on this one many times for a lot of visitors here at our state park. So yeah, I said I had a show called Songs of the Appalachians, and I would play a lot of those early pioneer melodies. But a lot of folks here in California don't even know where the Appalachian Mountains are, especially the young folks. They're over that way, about 2,000 miles, I guess. Kind of take a look back over the years of all that I've done, and just a whole lot of fiddling and playing. And I've always considered myself just a folk musician, but the fiddle has been a real passion. I mean, for a long time I did nothing but eat, sleep, and drink fiddle. And if you eat something enough, it's going to come out of you. Another show that I've been recently involved in was a friend of mine who is a Mark Twain actor, Pat Connert. And Pat Connert does a fine job telling stories about, in particular, when Mark Twain was out here. He came out west in 1861. So my job in that show is as a musical narrator, and Mark Twain lived through so many eras of the development of American music.
You know that she said to me, "Why, Mr. Twain, you look 100 years old." I said, "My dear, I haven't had a compliment like that in 77 years.
In the days of old when we dug up the gold, the days of '49, there was old lame Jess, a hard old cuss. He never did repent. He's never known."
Catgut strings and rattlesnake tails. I've done a lot of studying about fiddlers and the folklore of the fiddle, and the fiddle was America's first important folk instrument. And to me, it's my desire to connect Americans with our folklore and our early American musical history. And since the fiddle was so much a part of it, we always enjoy the banjo and the bluegrass, but 200 years way before the banjo came around, the fiddle was already on the American frontier, playing down in Jamestown Colony, Virginia. There's so much history, and the word catgut, where does that come from? Well, nobody ever really killed cats, So I tell the story about that, and rattlesnake tails is a play on words, but in old folklore, American folklore, people would put rattlesnake tails in their fiddles for maybe two different reasons, and you can pick your own what you believe. Well, one was to ward off evil spirits if you put the rattlesnake tail in your fiddle. And the other one, though, is more plausible, is them old fiddlers that lived way out in the woods, they'd hang the fiddle on the wall, and maybe a mouse would want to nest inside, so he'd heat out a little bit of the sound hole there and nest inside. Well, the rattlesnake, being the mortal enemy of the mouse, you put the rattlesnake tail in there, and maybe that would ward off the mice from eating into your fiddle. So take it as you have it, but that's what I believe, and it's just a fun show. It's designed to be fun and humorous, selling American history with a little bit of humor. So that's my deal on that. I have a philosophy: changing the world one fiddle tune at a time. And when the parents come back to me every year, their kids will grow up, and they brought them here on the trains, and they can say, "My son or daughter took up fiddling because of you," and that's my reward. That's a big reward right there. But changing the world one fiddle tune at a time. And big job, but somebody said you better hurry up and get it done. They ain't getting done fast enough, so.